In this video, we'll use principal components analysis to reduce the dimensionality of a dataset. I'm using the socioeconomic dataset, which is available in the sample data directory. In this dataset, we have attributes for 12 different regions. To perform principal components analysis, we'll go to the Analyze menu, select Multivariate Methods, and select Principal Components. Principal Components requires numeric columns and will provide all 5 to our Y columns. When I click OK, JMP will produce a table of the eigenvalues and 3 summary plots. The first is an eigenvalue Pareto plot, showing us the percent and cumulative percent of the variation accounted for by each principal component. The next summary plot is the score plot, which is a scatter plot of the first 2 principal components. The third plot is a loading plot, showing the correlations between the original variables and the first 2 principal components. In this output, we can see that the first 2 principal components account for about 95% of the variation in the data. For exact values, we can read the proportion of variance accounted for from each component next to the component's label on each of the axes. In total, these 2 components account for 93.4% of total variation, which is 57.5% plus 35.9%. In the loading plot, we can see that all of our variables are correlated positively with the first component, as noted by their positive extent in the component 1 dimension. On the other hand, total employment and total population are positively correlated with the second component, but professional services and median school years are negatively correlated with the second component. By default, PCA is performed on correlations. To change this option, we can go to the top red triangle, select Principal Components, and select another option. We also have additional options under the red triangle, including saving the principal components and requesting 3D score plots. Principal Components is also available as an option under Analyze, Multivariate Methods, Multivariate. If we select the same variables and then click OK and select the red triangle at the top, Principal Components can also be done on correlations, covariances, and unscaled. Finally, Principal Components can also be revealed using the 3D scatter plot. Here, when we specify all of our variables again, we can request the Principal Components under the drop-down options. Like the loading plot we saw before, we are able to visualize the loadings of each of our variables on different principal components.